Good morning, everybody. Welcome to sunny Weymouth. Haven't made a video for a while because I'm finding this one very hard. Unfortunately, Boris passed away last week. He had a tumour on his liver, and it was rather a large tumour. Because it was in his stomach area, it was hard to see it until it was too late. So, yeah, he's gone now. So I've been finding it really hard to make a video. Anyway, that bit is over with. Let's get on. It's Tuesday morning. It's just after 11 o'clock. Now lots have been going on. So I might as well make this first one just a walk around, just so that you can see what's happening. My roses, I don't know if you remember, but I cut it right back to here. And because I made the right mess of it, so all this is new growth. And there's lots of flowers up there that are forming. So these are still here. My anemones, because I don't know how to say it. My tayberries, remember I threw them kind of over the top here. Well, they're all coming on well. I've got the new growth. I'm trying to train that in the middle so that I'll cut the outside branches. My pear tree is absolutely full of pears, although we haven't had the June drop yet, so we'll see how we get on with that. Now, because of the weather that we're having, it is boiling hot here, so I've put these covers over my brassicas to at least try and help them not get too much heat. I've had to start putting things in water containers and leaving them in water for a couple of days, letting them dry right out, and then putting some more water in. These are, begin with D, I think, dahlias. These are the ones that I saved from a gentleman right over there called Old John. Sorry about the wind. Old John, he left his allotment and left them in, so I salvaged what I could. And I think I've got a few more growing as well somewhere. Right, let's come in here. It's not all in the shade, just some of it. But it gets it out of the majority of the shade. Right, down here are my red cabbages. As some of you know, I'm not very good at growing cabbages, but I thought I'd have a big go at growing the red cabbages, so I think I've got about 12 here. Here are some Savoy cabbage. I must admit I have bought majority of these because I was very, very late. And because of the weather as well, I couldn't grow them from seed. So now, again, these are bought in and these are sprouts. So we'll see how we get on with them. To try and stop the flies, I've planted these marigolds as well. Now, as some of you know, I can't grow marigolds, so they're bought in as well. and curly kale. I think this one I grew. So out of about 50 plants, I think there's a couple that survived. That one and that one. And that one hasn't flowered yet. So, yes, so curly kale. Here, I've got a sweet pepper growing. Never grown one outside. Again, that was bought. A volunteer potato turned up in there, so let it stay there. I've got this one covered as well. Right, here are cauliflowers. Again, I think I've got a couple of marigold. Excuse me when I just shut the door. I've got a couple of marigold in here, but not as many as I would have liked. So yes, these are all the cauliflowers. Some of them have got yellow leaves, so I'm going to have to come in here and give it a good old clean up. We've got greenfly, aphids, what they called. They might have come in with the plant because again, these were bought. And I hate buying, but I had to. I just didn't have time to do anything. So yeah, all these are cauliflowers down here. There's 3 sprouts there. And these are all broccoli. And I've got a head of broccoli growing there. There's a little one coming through there. I believe these are my own broccolis. And I believe the bigger ones at this side are the bought ones. So I have been able to grow some of my own, some of my own things. Right, here's my radishes. I'm growing white radish and you can see there is one in there somewhere. I can't see properly through the screen. I've got my spring onions in there and my lettuce is in there. Look at the size of them leaves. I keep picking up the leaves. They're iceberg. Why not? It is a little bit windy today. They're my Jerusalem artichokes already. Look at the size of them. I'm going to have to put something round to hold that, stop it from falling over. Right, I don't know what it is, but I cannot this year grow runner beans. Every time I've grown them, they haven't come up, but these are coming up. So, yes, fingers crossed for me. Another one is carrots. I've got back to that time of year where my carrots aren't growing, which I'm not very happy about. I've planted, we've got a few here. I planted some more under there the other day. I just put this on to keep the damp in there so that it doesn't dry out. So I shall water that later on. I got a few potatoes here. In here I'm growing parsley. Remember last year I grew parsley in pots and they turned out quite nice. Not parsley, parsnips. Here is the yellow courgettes. There. There. And there. And these have started growing through. They're the leeks. I'm going to have to pull them out. Everything needs a good water at the minute. Everything does. There's the old leeks, which I'm going to let flower. So I can't wait for them I think these are courgettes. This all needs weeding. And I believe that that is a melon. And I thought I would try growing one outside. It looks like it's going to die 1 minute, and then the next minute it puts more new leaves on. I've had to buy some runner beans here, plus I have planted some actual beans underneath. Oh, these, didn't know what they were, so I planted them there, and they look like they're some kind of cabbage. They could be Savoy, and they won't live there, so I've got 3, I don't know if I'm pointing at them, beef tomatoes growing there. This all needs weeding. It's got lots of bottom weeding, and for some reason this end does not grow anything. Why would that be? If anybody can tell me, I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. Ah, there's another one of the plants beginning with D. Dahlia. As you can see in there, it's got some water in. I will leave that in there until it just totally soaks up. I don't know what that is in there. That, I believe, is Tayberry. This is the apple, the Golden Delicious, that it had 2 apples on it last year, and they ended up rubbing together, and I pulled them off because they were rotting, both of them. So, but I got plenty of fruit on this year. So again, let's wait for the June drop before we count our chickens. Down here, I've got French beans, runner beans, white beans, red beans, green beans, all sorts, again, bought in. These are the potatoes that I planted in September, October. So they're coming back through. That's beetroot that I planted a couple of weeks ago. And all that's coming up. So at least now I can tell what are weeds and which is beetroot. I did cover it with grass, but of course the birds have been in. So, yes, never mind. Now, these were the heat-treated red onion. I said I wasn't going to grow onions anymore, the red ones, sorry, because they keep bolting. And I end up from about 100 of them, I get about 20 if I'm lucky. And so I thought, right, try the heat-treated ones. They don't bolt. I've pulled 4 out that have bolted already. Use them as a spring onion. There's another one here, just about to bolt. So that's 5 out of, I believe there's maybe 50 in here. I'm going to water today as well, hand water, so I can feed everything. Here, I think these are cucumbers. Not 100% sure. Or courgettes, I think maybe green. No, green courgettes are in the next one. I think these are cucumbers. Look at my elephant garlic. It looks wonderful, doesn't it? So this year, I'll be able to pick my birthday garlic, maybe. Who knows? Just wait for them to curl over. Right, in this next bed, here, I'm well pleased with this bed so far. We have got corn. That's the first lot of corn that I planted. Second lot of corn that I planted. Now, I think, oh, that's butternut squash. That's butternut squash. Don't know. I believe these two are marrow, but I thought a courgette, a grown-up courgette, was a marrow. So I thought I'd buy them and just see. These, I believe, are green courgettes. Okay. Now I had lots and lots of tomatoes left. So I had a little idea. And what I thought I might do is cut these buckets in half, lift this up and plant the tomatoes in there, like this. Now, I think it was Sandra from Nana's Worms. She was on about these wool pellets, and I thought they were just to keep the snails away, because the snails don't like walking on top of them. But apparently they are good for the soil as well, good for your compost. It puts nutrients in. So there you go. I used up the rest of the bag that I had. Everything needs massive water. Sorry, I'm just showing you now. Yes, the snails, slugs and snails haven't got to them. I've done this all the way round. I run out of the wool pellets here, and I went on to the blue pellets. So yes, I've gone all the way round. That corn is coming on so well. It needs a really good watering. Okay, let's get to the flowers. When my dandelion leaves, oops, sorry, when my dandelions died back, I decided to put these plastic flowers in because they do look scruffy, don't they? And so it, you know, it looks nice, pleasing to the eye, as Terry says, pleasing to the eye. There's a lot of weeds in here at the minute, but of course when I chopped them all right down, it looked ever so bare in here, so I stuck the flowers back in. Oh dear. This geranium always ends up taking over, so I've tied it up like a bush again. I did this last year, so like it's got a trunk and then a burst of flower on top. I think that looks quite nice. My little daisy thing that I had back there, that's disappeared. That's died off. Kind of a purpley daisy. My rhubarb, I've had so much rhubarb, but I've got one piece, one stick of rhubarb. It has been coming out quite thick. If it's thin, I just pull it out. But look at this leaf. It's massive. And the stalk on it is, I hope you can see that. So I'm not picking that one, I'm leaving that one to grow. My flowers there, look, they've been there for a year. A year? No, over winter anyway. And they just carried on growing. Right, now to my onions. Well, well, well. These here are the ones that I thought wouldn't come out big. And they're pretty big. I can't get my hand in there to show you. So these, I planted them all close together so that they come out just an average size. And then round the corner here, I planted these all with a bit more space for them, so that they'd be bigger. And they are bigger at that end, a lot bigger. Some of them are only tiny, but yes, they're still nice size onions. And I cannot for the life of me plant or sprout a sweet potato. So I bought some. I had to give in and buy some. So I've put them in here. And when I pull all the onions out, they will be all growing in this. So we'll see how we get on with that. There's a lovely one of them, clematis, that the lady over there gave me. This is just a little pot that I made up of some of the seeds that I planted. And look, Mr. Shaw. No, I am so sorry. Sorry about that. Brian and his polytunnel. He took a cutting of the hydrangea and posted it to me, and that first flower's coming out, look. That is amazing. There's a little tomato plant. I shall pull that out later. Here's a, oh heck, honeysuckle that I bought, that I want it to climb up here. Still haven't got any further with that. Oh, strawberries. I've been picking from them already. So yes, these seem to have smaller strawberries, and this seems to have bigger strawberries. Maybe because they've got more room, I don't know. Right, so where are we to now? Let's get round here. We've done the pots. I've got lots and lots of pots of oh, I've got some more sweet corn there. Didn't know what this was growing, and then I noticed it's a radish, so I'm going to leave that. I'm going to plant it somewhere and leave it to produce pods, because they were delicious to eat last year. So yes, I've got all sorts going on here. This is my comfrey plant, which is all grown out nicely. These are a couple of leeks that I left in there to grow. There's a little flower coming there, flower head. This was right up here, really big strong plant, and it snapped over in the wind. And look, I've got a few carrots in there. Carrots this year, I don't know. I've got a little garlic in there, just one that I thought, just put it in a pot, see what happens. And I've got lots of little plant stuff here. Everything is desperate for a watering. So, and my parsnip box. Let's go and have a look. There's my parsnip box. That's doing quite well. Unfortunately, if you look there, all their weeds and stuff are coming over. I'm getting fed up of this. Getting fed up of it. Of course, I don't want to complain. Look at all the tayberries. That is the russet apple tree that somebody gave me, tried to try and grow for them. There's lots of apples on there, but again, like I said, June drop. There's my little mate up there waiting for his dinner. Oh, just gone. The little pigeon, he sits there waiting for his dinner. Right, I think that's about it. So we're just going to leave this one as a look around because I haven't been filming for a while. Yes, and hopefully we can now get things back on track. So I'm leaving all the little holes that Boris dug. It's actually nice to fall down them. Everything's still out at home. I can't bear to put anything away. I think if I pretend that he's still here, it makes it a bit easier. So from, oh, and there's nothing in here, just a load of bulbs drying out. I think it was Sandra again who was asking, do I ever leave this open? You know, when there was plants in there. Yes, I've made it like that so that I can leave it open. And what I normally do, which I haven't done because it's so brittle now, I put that bungee strap down there and that stops it from blowing away. But of course there's nothing in there now, except, like I said, there's the bulbs that are drying out. Right, so from sunny Weymouth, I'm going to bid you all a goodbye. Bye-bye.